What is going on, guys? Welcome to this video, which didn't really plan on making, but here we are. And I'm gonna try to keep this video as raw, uncut, no intro, no music, no nothing, because basically I want to just talk about this because this is getting bad. It's getting really bad. And I feel like not a lot of people are talking about it, and it's kind of getting to the point where it's a little irritating, to be completely honest with you. Nothing's changing. There's things that are trying to change. Law enforcement's trying to crack down on it, but it's not good enough. It really isn't. And like, I hate the fact that I can open my phone and watch people literally doing donuts in an intersection. Just completely disregard for everyone around them, the property around them, and the fact that most of these people don't even know how to drive. I'm sorry, but these low-life activities need to stop. And I'm talking about takeovers and sideshows. It started off as a trend, and it just got way worse. Obviously, LA is like the epicenter for it, which is totally ridiculous because literally, like, LA has the worst rules for modified cars. Like, if the car's loud, if the car's low, if the car's modified to any extent, you just can't drive the car anymore. And luckily, here in the state I live in Nevada, it's not that bad at all, thank God. But like, it could be. It could get to that point. The thing about all of these sideshows and takeovers is that, well, one, they destroy your car. I see videos of people just not knowing how to drive and like hitting other cars there or whatever, or like one car will hit another car, and it's almost like the crowd wants it to happen and they're waiting for it. As soon as it happens, the whole crowd goes in and just like engulfs the cars and just starts destroying stuff. Like, these people are just have no respect for anyone. They don't care about anyone. All they want to do is just see someone do something that is going to destroy either a car or a light post or even the crowd. Like, the fact that I can watch videos of people getting hit by like these cars sliding around is ridiculous. And like, I even saw one video, this truck is sliding around and someone in the bed of the truck is standing up and loses his balance and falls over onto the road, and the truck does a burnout and like basically drives over this dude, right? And this guy doesn't get up after getting hit. People are like, God, and they're running toward him, but they're not running toward him to help him. They end up dragging him off, but this guy's completely unconscious. How would you feel if you, I don't even know why you'd want to be in the pit or whatever the hell these slang words are for something that's just so distasteful, but I don't know how you'd be okay with going to one of these and seeing someone get hurt. The first thing that doesn't come to your mind is call 911 or like call like emergency service to go help the guy or take him to the hospital or whatever. To me, it doesn't even qualify as being part of anything. It's literally its own thing. And I can't put in words how much I can't stand these low life activities because they're not making any positive purpose at all. Like, the only reason why you go to one of these things is because you are bored, don't have anything else to do, whatever the case may be. The fact that you can even get a ticket for being a part of one of these things and like get arrested is insane. Like, I don't even know why you'd even want to do it. Like, it doesn't make sense at all. The problem that I have, the biggest problem I have, is that not only is it dangerous, like extremely dangerous, but like most of the cars that are sliding are either extremely clapped, like no regard for these cars at all. You're smacking into people. The damage on these cars is insane, and most of them are stolen too. So it's like, the people that are even there, like, why would you even want to associate with them to begin with? Like, that to me doesn't make any sense at all. A good friend of mine, her name's Judy, and she's been in the car scene longer than I think anyone has. She started off illegal drag racing. She then got into, track driving, drifting. She just has a lot of experience. Where I used to live in Las Vegas is they got so many of these things wrong when they like did a coverage of these street takeovers or doing burnouts at car meets, which is the stupidest thing in the world, because like when you go to a car meet, you're literally going there to park your car. If you have any other intentions other than that, don't go, because there are tracks that are open.
5:37 now. Despite all the laws and all the pleas to stop illegal street racing, still a problem in the valley. So here's a unique idea: build these people a legal drift track. That way, the hope would be scenes like this would be far less common. Now, there is a business plan apparently being sent to county leaders to ask for land to build a legal drift pit and track. Now, the county says it's unaware of these plans. If drivers want to, do stuff like this, there is a place for them to do it out at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. They have some nights where you can race your cars. Jeff Motley with the Speedway says racing in-house is much safer for everyone involved.
You could literally go to an open parking lot to do whatever it is you want to do. Why go to a car meet to do it? Like, it doesn't make sense. And the first thing that happens at a car meet when you do this is it gets shut down. People will get asked to leave. If it's in a city like Las Vegas, or if it's like in a city like LA, then sure, you guys can find another parking spot, whatever. But if it's in a small city and you don't have many places to have car meets, what if you drove like over 2 hours to get somewhere, and then you get there and some dummy decides to do a burnout or whatever, starts doing donuts, and they get kicked out? It's like, now you have to do like that whole drive over, and it bums you out, man. Like, it makes you feel like you don't want to go out and experience the car culture. To me, is really detrimental, because like that's why I stopped going to a lot of car meets at night, because like I don't even want to be associated with all of these activities because I drive a car that's low, loud, whatever it may be. It's just one of those things that's just irritating. It's so frustrating, because these people have no regard for anything. Like, the fact that they have slang for all of these like inexperienced driving is so dumb and so stupid. You can spin out and do a burnout by rolling backwards, and it's called a rollback, is so dumb. It's almost as if these inexperienced drivers that can't control their car just thought, oh hey, I'm gonna name this thing something like cool so that when I do it, people get excited, and they don't understand that I don't know how to drive. Because like, if you go to a track and if you do a rollback, or if you like spin out at all, the last thing you want to do is keep trying to rotate in your car and continue on the course. No, the proper thing to do is stop what you're doing. That's actually what they teach you at the track, is stop what you're doing, get control of the car, and drive to the next initiation point and initiate after that. Like, it's not to keep doing donuts and thinking you look cool. Yeah, it might feel cool, obviously, because, that's why people are doing it, and you have all these eyes watching you, so it's like, I gotta do something cool. But that's not what you need to do. That's being immature. That's poor track etiquette. And just the fact that people are doing these things on the streets is like, you have other people there. It's not just you. You have pedestrians. You have other cars that are just either getting off work, going to work, going to family parties. Like, the person that is stopping someone, or could be stopping someone from going to like family that they haven't seen in years. The fact that these regular people can get intertwined, they're trying to get through the intersection, and you're just doing donuts, and then like they try to get through, and then you go and try to hit them. Like, in what mindset do you have to be to see another car and say, I'm gonna go hit that car? Or they're in the pit and they're not supposed to be in the pit, I'm gonna go, destroy their car. You hit them because you're inexperienced, you don't know how to control your car, and then everyone else around you starts going to their car and destroying it because you hit it. Like, that is on you. That really is. And the fact that people like get into like little accidents, or like they'll hit each other and then they'll drive off. Like, bro, if you know you screwed up, own it. Don't drive off and be like, oh, well, I hit someone, so I'm gonna go run away. Like, no, like, stop. Don't do that. And also, the fact of the matter is that people have to bring firearms to these things to feel safe. Like, if you have to bring a firearm anywhere, that right there means you are not going to this for good reasons, if that makes sense. Like, you are not going there for good reasons. This is just so many like years of me keeping this in. I just don't feel like anything's getting solved. It really isn't. Think of the younger generation that's just getting into cars, right? Say they just watched the Fast and Furious series and they're like, oh, this is so sick. Like, I want to get into this. Like, they're feeling stoked. They go out and get a car. And then they open up social media and all they see is these takeovers, these clown activities. And then they're like, oh, this must be what the car community is now. No, it is not. And why are we teaching people that it is okay to go out to a busy intersection and just keep going around in circles? Like there's no skill in that. There's not any skill at all. These people say, oh, I don't want to go out on track because, you know, it's too expensive. I don't want to like go and pay all that money. I'd rather just do donuts and like be done with it. The reason why you're saying that is because you can't drive and you are nervous and scared to see what other people are going to think about you when you're on a actual track and you are around people that actually know what the hell they're doing. Because the ones that go to takeovers don't know what they're doing at all. They don't. I'm sorry. The takeovers need to stop. How are you even okay with yourself to even think about going to these things? Because if you get caught by law enforcement, which law enforcement even has squads, these programs in Las Vegas, they have this thing called RAID, and it's racing and illegal driving apprehension, something like that. The fact is that this squad will go to a car meet. I've even seen some of these squad members at Vegas drift events watching these cars to like take notes of what they look like, so if they catch them out in the streets, then they can give them tickets, which I think that's kind of a little too far, to be honest with you. But I also believe that if you get pulled over, or if you get caught at a takeover and you get like pulled over, obviously you're gonna run, because no one that goes to a takeover isn't gonna run. Like, that's just how it is. Like, these cars are stolen, they are untastefully modified, they're not even nice cars. They aren't. You wouldn't be proud of driving this car. This car is literally solely for you to do donuts in an intersection, and that's it. That's all this car is meant for. But if you get pulled over, the law enforcement can give you felonies. And why would you even be okay with the fact of you going to prison for you being caught at a takeover or a sideshow? Like, the fact is that like these names for these low life activities are even like a sideshow. It's not a main show, it's a sideshow. It's like the show that's over there that no one wants to see, or a takeover. Like, you're taking over an intersection, and like that's not cool. Like, it sounds cool obviously because like that's what people want, but it's not cool. You're not gonna be cool. Like, these people that go to these things, all they're doing is whipping out their phone and recording and posting it online. No one wants accountability of posting this stuff. They just want to put it out there and have people go, oh my god, this is so cool, oh my god, someone's in the pit, like, let's go. It's like, no, stop it. We need to stop this, because if we do not, it's going to get to the point where any law enforcement is going to see a car that's modified and just say, oh, well, your car fits the description of a car that's at a takeover, which doesn't make any sense at all, because there's a very big difference between takeover cars and tastefully modified cars. If you go to any track event, most of these cars have liveries on them. They want to stand out, but for good reason. They don't want to stand out off the track. Most of the time, when you see someone going to a parking lot to do a test hit on their car because they just did something to it, and they want to make sure that their car works fine or works good, so that when they go to the track that weekend, they're not wasting money, wasting their time, wasting tires. Like, they want to make sure that their car is good. But then when they go, most of the time, they don't want anyone around. They don't want any casualties. They don't want any eyes on them. They just want to do a test hit. They just want to make sure everything feels right, so that when they go to the track, they can drive all day without worrying about anything. Because the last thing you want to do as a track driver, or as someone that actually takes drifting seriously, is do all this work to your car, go to the track, and have one or two things like break or go wrong, which you didn't expect because you couldn't do a test hit, and then now your whole day is done. The fact of the matter too is that in Vegas specifically, so many good test hit spots and just like spots that people would go to as a group, do some tandem driving and then leave respectfully, got basically burnt because all these other kids would stay there all night, destroy stop signs, destroy curbs, destroy the whole warehouse, and they didn't care. And that's the problem, is that these kids don't care. And I've lost all respect for anyone that is associated or even like goes to these type of activities. It's not something you want to be proud of, guys. I'm telling you right now, it is not something you want to be proud of. I can't convey to you guys enough how important it is to stay away from these things and to not get into it, because people get hurt. Damage happens to properties. And most of the media can't even cover it right because they think that any car that's doing a burnout or any car that is doing like donuts are like the same. And it's not. Like, that's so wrong in so many ways that it just doesn't make any sense at all. So what I would urge you guys to do is, if you guys want to drift, if you guys want to learn how to do these things, please go to a track, or please go to a parking lot that no one goes to, when there's no one, there's no bystanders, no pedestrians, and do it safely. That's all we want, is for you to do it safely, because yes, we understand that you love that feeling of driving, but it shouldn't be to impress anyone else. It should be to hone your skills as a driver so that you can take those skills and take it to the track. Because I get it. I understand. I'm like not trying to make this video to say, stop drifting, stop like sliding, because yes, we all love to do it, but do it smartly. Do it in a way you can do it safely. You don't hurt anyone. You're not doing it for clout. You're not doing it so that like you can have a bunch of people around you. Practice to get yourself comfortable to go to a track, because I understand it's the same thing as going to the skate park. When you don't really know what you're doing, like, you get intimidated. I get it. It's understandable. We've all been there. All of us have been there. Like, even if you go to a track day but just watch and talk to people and get your foot in the doorstep, everyone is so nice at tracks and everyone's so willing to help that it's kind of a no-brainer to do. And yes, I understand tracks are kind of expensive, but it's so worth it. It is so worth the time. It is so worth getting your equipment, like your helmet, and getting your car ready for that event. You're gonna get so much better as a driver going to events instead of going to these low-life takeovers and sideshows. And not only that, you don't risk the chance of getting arrested, getting a felony, getting something permanently on your record just because you decided to go and do some donuts in an intersection. So it should be common sense, but common sense is so uncommon nowadays that if we don't speak up about it, then nothing's gonna change. And change needs to happen. It does. I'm not the only one. I'm not. There are so many people that I know that are so against these takeovers and sideshows, but it's not that they don't want to say anything. It's just they feel like their voice isn't going to get heard. Like, for example, this street racing solution, the community advocates to ask the county to build a drift track. Like, yes, we'd love that. Is it going to happen? Maybe not. What in the world is in your thought process when a car is spinning around in circles and you're like, oh, hey, I'm going to jump in the middle and I'm going to get a sick ass angle? It is not worth it. It is not smart. It's on you if you get hurt. I have no respect for people that get hurt at these sideshows, because it's like, you deserved it. I don't know what has to happen for people to get a wake up call. And I couldn't have put it better than to what Judy said. We would love to have skid pads. We'd love to have somewhere we could go during the week, like anytime we wanted, to go and just test our cars out instead of going to the streets and doing it. But the problem is that it's such a hard thing to do, because like there's money involved, there's time involved, there's the community that needs to get involved. And if the community doesn't back it up, like, then it's pointless, basically. And This is also one of the reasons why I'm a huge advocate for Vegas Drift and a huge advocate for Club Rowdy and all of these organizations that are trying to get tracks open and ready and just regulated. Drift tracks by drifters for drifters, because then in that case, we know that we're going to destroy our cars. That's okay. We're not doing it for clout. We're doing it because we're trying to get better. We're trying to up that level of driving. When those things happen, like at the track, the community has to band together to clean up, because if you damage property and if you don't clean up, that is just disrespectfulness for whoever did it. Like, own up to what you do. If you hit something, if you destroy something, own up to it, make it better or improve it. Or I want to hear your guys' thoughts. If you guys agree with me, comment down below. If you guys disagree with me, definitely comment down below. I want all your guys' feedback on this. As a car community, we need to be better. We need to band together. We need to help each other. If you know someone that's a part of these sideshows or takeovers, please send them this video. They need to understand. Yes, it might be cool. They might think so, but in the long run, it isn't. So just stop. Benefiting you is not benefiting anyone else. If anything, if I knew someone that was a part of these things, I'd be embarrassed for them. There's so many better things to do than go out and watch these things or be a part of these things. Why ruin it for everyone? Make it so that your actions impact a whole community, and I don't think that's fair for any of us that are in this community for the long run. I don't think that's fair. I really don't. For the people that feel connections to these cars and want to make them look as nice as possible, put really expensive parts, just put so much time and effort into these cars, into these drift cars, and make it so they're dialed in just to be able to drive with buddies. Like, that's the best feeling ever. If you do not know how to tandem with someone and like have that feeling of knowing exactly what they're gonna do and doing it with them and dancing with them, if you're not into drifting for that purpose, you shouldn't be in it at all. I don't really know how you guys are going to react to this video. Honestly, I'm hoping you guys have positive reactions and don't want to just come after me. At least something gets said and at least something gets put out there, which I think is probably one of the most important things to me, at least. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. So comment down below what you guys think. Share this with the people that need to see it. And as community, guys, let's make this better. Let's open more tracks. Instead of all of these tracks shutting down, let's open more tracks. Let's rally together to get tracks open so that you can go and do these things that you want to do at the track. Do it safely, do it responsibly, and like be able to build a community that wants to have each other's backs. So if something happens on track or something happens, even if you do go to a parking lot with some friends and you decide to, hey, let's have some fun, at least you guys have each other's backs and at least you guys are there for each other. So if something does happen, you guys can make sure that everyone's okay, the property is okay. Even if you did damage property, making sure that you inform someone so that something gets fixed. Because the only reason why properties get so upset is because you destroy stuff and then you just leave it for them to handle. And they shouldn't be responsible for that. That's on you. That's not on them. Why do you have to make them pay for it instead of you being responsible enough to say, hey, I did this, I messed up, I need to get better as a driver, but because I did this, I want to, you know, help you guys to get this damage fixed to the property. So we have a lot of work to do, guys, but I feel like this is going to be, there's steps. And as long as we initiate the step and as long as we get to that next step and as long as we're doing something actively about it, I feel like we can make a difference. We can. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Didn't really plan on making it, but I feel like something needs to be said and something needs to be dealt with. And that's kind of what we're here for. And because I have a YouTube channel and I post regularly to it, I know you guys watch these videos. Like, I know that my voice is going to be heard, and I'm hoping that you guys take it with a grain of salt and you guys take it structurally, like positively, and you guys don't think I'm attacking you guys. I love the car community. That's why I'm making this video. I love the car community so much that I want these things to stop. I want to make sure that these things cease to exist so that we don't have to go out and be scared that a cop's behind us and our car matches the description of a takeover car and they get the wrong idea and pull us over and give us a citation or whatever, because then that's money that you have to spend on tickets that you shouldn't have to anyways, and the amount of anxiety that someone has driving their car because of all this stuff happening is just, it shouldn't happen. It really shouldn't. And then also, it's funny because when I first moved here to North Nevada, to Reno, I was told Friday is for the meets, Saturday you stay off the streets. And that's literally just because Saturday's cars and coffee, but Friday nights usually had really, really good meets that were completely safe, completely cool for kids to go to. And then Saturdays, you don't even go, because most of the time Saturdays are when all the low life activities start happening, all the, sideshows, all the takeovers, and you don't want to even be there. So the fact that we have a thing here in Reno where you go out on Friday nights, but then you stay off the streets on Saturdays, like that to me is ridiculous, because no one should feel scared to go out to a car meet because they are worried that's going to turn into a takeover. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that shouldn't exist at all. So, again, thank you guys for watching. If you guys haven't already, please like this video. I just want to get more awareness. And subscribe to the channel for more. I do a lot more than these little talks, but this just, to me, was just super important to do. Turn on the notification bell for all the videos I'll be posting here and soon enough. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Thank you guys for watching. Mahalo nui loa. Always remember, never forget, always stay positive and stay out of the takeover sideshow scene. Let's go. Peace. Shoots. Bye. Caden, let's go.